Hello and welcome back to Beyond the Deals podcast. I am your host, Gabrielle Simmons. Today I am here with Gabe Carter with Capital Fund One. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. And you guys have been a part of Real Estate Dealmakers. You're one of our founding affiliates, actually. So we definitely appreciate your guys' continued support. And I love that you usually come out to all of the events. And what has your experience been like just being intertwined with the Real Estate Dealmakers world?
Well, it's been good. I believe, if I remember correctly, we initially got in contact with each other because of the Facebook pages.
Mm-hmm.
So before there was the physical space.
Yeah.
So it was there in that big migration from everybody that was on those several Facebook groups to here.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of good people here, and there's great events. I am constantly in conversation a few times a week with different people that I've met here.
Awesome.
The quarterly events are a lot of fun too. They're big. You know, we got snacks and drinks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's always a good time. Before I forget, I do want to mention our sponsor, Builders Outlet. Builders Outlet is your go-to for windows, cabinets, doors, and trim. Check them out by going to buildersoutletco.com. Have you been to Builders Outlet, to the shop?
I haven't. It's kind of out of my wheelhouse. Okay.
Well, your investors that are buying these flips, these deals, they should be buying their materials from Builders Outlet, because prices beat even home. Well, I'm not supposed to say the names, the big box stores.
Big box, yeah.
Yeah, for Builders Outlet, they are better prices.
Yeah, it seems like at least when I bump into the builders and the investors, the folks here, they say that they do. Normally, I'm just seeing the finished product. So I do like to drop in as much as I can on investors' projects just to see what they look like at the end. I just kind of love that. But I never really ask them where they got stuff. It's more of like, what is this design feature? What were you thinking about? And then get that story. Because as you know, the investors love to talk about the different design things they put into these houses.
Right. How they chose these gold finishes and trims on things. And maybe that's good. Maybe it's not in some areas or some houses, right? Tell us, what is Capital Fund One and what do you guys do?
So Capital Fund One is primarily a hard money lender. The short version of the story is that the founders of the company originally were buying auction properties in Phoenix, check at the courthouse type of situation. This was probably 16, 17 years ago. Eventually grew into a fund. Right now, we're essentially a private equity fund. So we are deploying our own capital. So it's not as if we broker hard money or do any of that. It's pretty much off balance sheet, which just means we're funding our own loans.
Okay.
Working with entirely investors, so no homeowners. Fix and flippers, folks doing ground up construction, rental properties as well with 30-year DSCR loans, that type of thing.
Right.
So we are currently now in 6 states, just opened an office in North Carolina. This is brand new. So Arizona, then Colorado, then Texas. And I don't remember which came first, Tennessee or Georgia, North Carolina.
Nice.
So physical presence.
Yeah. And let's walk through what that looks like, right? Because I feel like there's a common misconception about being able to purchase a property and flip it from folks that are newer that think like they need to have all of the capital. They're like, oh, I know I can get a house in, let's say Pueblo, for example. I know I can get a house in Pueblo for $100,000. And I'll probably need to put like 60, 70, 80 grand into it in order to sell it for that higher price and make my profit. I don't have 280 is the thought, right? And I can't qualify for a loan maybe because I'm self-employed or I have bad credit, whatever the case is. So what does it look like to come to you if I have a property that I find in Pueblo or somebody sends to me that looks like an ideal fix and flip? What does that process look like?
Yeah.
If I just call you up, Gabe, I need some money for this house.
Yeah. So I'll just tell a quick story on this one also. The first time that I did a fix and flip was a condo up north in Westminster, and I was not aware of hard money. So I bought it with a traditional mortgage And then I paid for the rehab with, I think, a HELOC and maybe some credit cards. So of course, buying it with a traditional mortgage meant I was at least 30 days to close this thing.
Yeah.
A lot of paperwork, a lot of documentation. If I'd been trying to run concurrent deals and keeping things smooth, it would have gotten jammed up pretty fast. So hard money is really customized for particularly fix and flip investors. Essentially because it's so easy to underwrite. So you have photos, contract, rehab budget, bring in a little bit of experience to the table. At least our underwriting team looks at it generally within 24 hours, potentially faster. Like, this is a good deal. This is not a good deal. Here are your terms. We're going to offer you X towards the percentage of the purchase, and generally all of the rehab funds are available. Close 1 or 2 days and just get them moving. So folks that get familiar with the process just generally send an email.
Yep.
I send an email back with terms, put it into processing. They're funded in a couple of days, and then they move on and they continue to go into the next deal.
So like literally from the time that like the example I gave, or I hit you up, hey Gabe, I need money for this flip in Pueblo. And you're going to tell me, hey, send me an email, right, with the purchase price, what you think the estimated renovation is going to be, what you think the after repair value is going to be. And then there's some additional details that you're asking for, like a breakdown of that renovation, and then like a soft credit pull typically, right?
Yes.
And that's all you guys really need. And I can finish that within a matter of 15, 20 minutes, put those details together, send it to you. You guys are underwriting it. Like you said, coming back and letting me know if it's a good deal or a bad deal, which that's a whole nother part of hard money that I think a lot of folks don't understand too, is that like you guys are not, the idea is that hard money lenders are sharks and that you're going to lend me the money on this deal, whether it's a good deal or a bad deal, so that if I screw myself, you're going to get to come after me or you're going to get this property.
Yeah.
And that's not true, right? You guys, you want to come back and tell us like, hey, Gabrielle, your numbers are way off. Like, this is not a good deal. And therefore, we're not going to fund it, or we would only fund this percentage of it, right?
Yeah. And that's a delicate conversation with folks. And I think investors have a tendency to get emotionally attached to their deals sometimes. Today there was a conversation like this. So we're like, well, our underwriting is haircutting this leverage by about 10%. Why? Like, well, you don't have any experience doing deals before. This is a huge renovation project. We're just going to be a little bit more conservative on this one. So would love to do it with you, but we are going to de-risk it for ourselves a little bit,
right,
by backing off a little bit.
So instead of maybe what would best terms be? 100%? Or you guys are going to fund 100% of the purchase price and reno?
We never get up to 100%. So philosophically, we just always ask that the investor have skin in the game. The data shows that there are lenders out there that will do 100% financing. They have much higher foreclosure and REO rates. Just because if you don't put any money into the deal as an investor and things start to go off the rails a little bit, what's to keep you in the deal? You can just walk. So
that's true.
So even with a 10% down, particularly in the Colorado markets where 10% is a loss.
It's a big chunk.
Because it's still a lot of money.
Right.
We don't tend to get many foreclosures or REOs here. Plus, we tend to like to work with people. So it's the idea of just kind of keeping your incentives aligned. We do, for experienced borrowers, go up to 90% of purchase, 100% of rehab.
Okay, wonderful. And so like you said, in that case where if the deal that I brought is a little higher risk because the numbers don't look super attractive, instead of say 90% that you would give me max being an experienced flipper, you may pull back 10% or whatever, right? And be like, okay, well, we're only going to fund 80% of the purchase price and 100% of reno still.
Yeah, or lower.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, case by case, depending on the numbers, right? Yeah. But that's so good to know. And I think that I've never been super fond of flipping personally myself, but when I first was looking to do a flip and like learned that process, how it works with Capital Fund One, actually, a gentleman who I used to work with a few years ago, I had just sent him an email and I'm like, so if I did want to flip this, like, what does that look like? And the process, again, was just so much easier than I could have imagined. And it really was more about just like the property. It's not about me and my taxes and my income and, you know, all of these things that go into trying to purchase something traditionally.
Yeah.
It's just, does the property make sense? If you can renovate it in this way that you foresee renovating it isn't going to be worth enough when you resell it and make a profit to be able to pay us back. And it really is like that cut and dry. And I appreciate that about the hard money like process.
Yeah. Which is why it's kind of a tricky conversation. There's one of the older real estate kind of mentorship groups that's around. And whenever I talk to those folks and they talk to their members, I always say, take what they use, because I'm there, they're using the example. Take what Gabe's group is giving you. If they're not giving you max leverage for your deal, take it as an opportunity to get some feedback on whether or not you should reevaluate that deal.
Right. Yep. Absolutely.
So, and don't take it personally.
Right. Right. Because also you guys are, you as a company and your underwriters are true professionals. Like you guys, you've looked at and written on more loans than any single investor typically has. So that's where we have to take like the emotional part out of it. And it's not, you're not calling us dumb because our numbers are wrong. You're just saying, hey, I've done hundreds or in some cases potentially thousands of these. And the numbers just, they're not there.
Yeah. Because we want to deploy the money. We want to put it out. We don't want to keep it back.
Right.
I mean, because a successful month is $100 million or plus of loans across all the markets. So if these are, a bunch of these are $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 flips, it's a lot of loans.
Yeah.
So, and we love working with people that we can continue to work with over and over and over again. So it's build those relationships.
Yeah.
There's an expectation and, it's something I enjoy of the people in their local markets to develop face-to-face relationships with all their borrowers so that it's not
just transactional. That's what I like about you guys the most, really. Because, I mean, that's the same model, right, for us, taking that Facebook group, turning it into an in-person physical space, like, because that's valuable. People are happier to have real live conversations and real relationships that you might even want to hang out and go grab a beer or something because you've actually met and hung out with each other.
Yeah.
It's not just emails and funding transactions.
Yeah. I mean, there's a past borrower that I have never done a loan with, but I still just enjoy going out to lunch with because he's just a fun guy to hang out with. But maybe one of these days we'll do something to get me out of it.
Yeah. So how long have you been with Capital Fund One and what did you do prior?
I think it's about a year and a half now. Okay. So I was on the, walking backwards, I was on the borrower side. So I was more of an investor. I actually am still in, I think, 7 deals right now.
Nice.
Ranging from a 150 unit multifamily development project, several luxury ground up constructions.
Sweet.
One little rental property in Aurora.
Nice.
Couple land deals. So I haven't started anything new since starting Capital Fund One. These are just ones that are kind of ongoing.
Okay. And so you were a full-time investor?
Full-time investor for a couple years.
Okay.
So too many sleepless nights. It's a different type of stress that I don't think I'm well suited for.
Right.
So
not having guaranteed income, like that's probably the biggest one that disturbs most of us is it being a full-time investor is just like highs and lows. You may sell a property or refinance a property or something and you're walking away with $80,000, $200,000, right? Like big chunks at a time, but then you may have nothing going on for 6 months and that wave is tough emotionally.
Yeah. Yeah. So exactly that. And then, prior to that, I was actually spent a few years in corporate real estate, which is how I got. So bigger entities, industrial REIT.
Okay.
That's kind of how I got started. I was like an analyst at an industrial REIT. And then few years there and ended up being actually the director of finance at a self-storage
Oh, okay.
acquisition company,
Uh-huh.
and then went private.
Wow. Self-storage acquisition.
Well, acquisition and operations.
Okay. And that was like self-storage was the...
That was the asset class.
Oh.
Only self-storage and only like secondary and tertiary markets. So no core market stuff. So it'd be these kind of, we made a lot of money off places that had extra yard space for people to park RVs and boats and things. These are those kind of like drive up, slide up gate ones that you'll see kind of in rural communities. Had hundreds of those.
Wow. And that was what the company did as a whole, was just find properties like that, acquire them, and rent them out.
Hold them, yeah, and then operate them, yeah.
Interesting.
Operating for self-storage is a weird thing. So because you have leases for each individual units. Weird things happen in
units,
storage.
dead bodies.
Yes.
I watch too much TV, apparently.
So that happens. There's always security issues that are popping up. People will stop paying, and then you're opening up and auctioning off the goods in there. It's just it's a weird business.
I've heard good things though. As far, like from an investor standpoint, I've heard that it's a great asset class to be in because it takes a lot less than properties than
Less than a
physical.
multifamily, yeah.
Oh, you wouldn't say less than a single family?
Well, I guess.
There's just like everything, or like
Breaking, you don't have that issue.
toilets, appliances, pulls and handles, and floorboards, and just so many things.
Squeaky doors and
Yeah.
Windows. You're not gonna get all those weird little complaints.
Right. Yeah. What are your goals with Capital Fund One? Like, do you have any? Is it a number of how many loans you're doing this year? What are those goals like for this year, and then like in the next couple of years?
Well, it's an interesting question. So I'm trying to figure out whether or not it makes sense to talk about it from numbers. I think I did about $100 million of loans last year.
Okay.
I would like to increase that by 50% this year.
Wow.
We have some new products that are very promising. So, and we're only about 6 weeks into it at this point. So we have what we're calling a high roller program.
Okay.
So essentially for folks that have some experience, we're talking 3 to 4 more deals under their belt and decent credit, 680 or plus.
Okay.
Which is most people in Colorado have that. We are just more aggressive on our leverage and put more of our emphasis on experience and credibility. And we've been, the percentage of the share of our borrowers that are fitting into that program has been going up just in the last 2 months dramatically. There's a lot of emphasis, and it's allowed us to go back to folks that we have kind of lost touch with and then brought back into the fold.
And by aggressive on your leverage, you mean offering higher leverage for
Average, yeah.
Right. Okay.
So, 90% of purchase, 100% of rehab, still the 24 to 48 hour close, still 1 point origination, still right about 10%, so cheaper than most of the market.
Okay.
Without an appraisal.
Right.
Doing something similar on ground up construction as well. So for folks that are 5, 6 deals or more, looking at a townhome deal right now, which would be pretty cool to get going with that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of push to kind of capture a little bit of market share just with better product offering. So that's kind of the next year.
So 150 million is your goal for this year.
50 million.
Okay.
The office as a whole is more, but I mean individually.
Yeah.
So
individually. That's awesome. And I love that you have this it sounds audacious to say, and what I did last year, I want to do 50% more this year. That sounds very big. And I respect that. and I see you hustling all the time and having conversations with folks and like really working to ensure that you reach that and that folks know that it's available, because that could really make the difference, right? Like if I didn't know that this was something that you guys were offering, and I'm still thinking, oh, well, max, you guys are going to do maybe 80-85% leverage, then I'm not super interested in that. Or I may even be sitting on the sidelines and not flipping, because I feel like that's too much that I need to come to the table with. So yeah, just you getting out there and sharing with people that this is new and available, I'm sure helps.
Yeah. And I mean, for the experienced folks, even the folks that have been working with us as we've been operating for previously, now they're coming in with lower leverage, and it just allows them to do more deals. So the ones that want a little bit more volume, they're able to do that.
Yeah. And something that makes you guys unique that I want to speak to too is that you do fund for brand new investors, right? Like if I never flipped a deal before,
Yep.
you guys will lend. And there's several other companies I know of that will not, they won't work with first time flippers.
Yeah.
Why do you think it is that you guys are willing to do that?
I think we just understand the numbers really well. We just have a lot of data. So our underwriting platform is actually a proprietary software system that we built out for ourselves. So it's got just the amount of deals that we see is incredible, tens and tens of thousands of them a year. And at this point right now, I think we just tipped over $6 billion of loans funded. So all that data is in there.
Right.
And so you have that, and then you have another layer of personalized underwriters that are kind of familiar with all the different submarkets, what streets to cross over not. So you layer that on, and then actually historically we're on our ARVs plus or minus 5% across the portfolio with being accurate on the ARVs.
Wow.
So there's individual variability, right? So having that knowledge and being comfortable with the deal. So if a first timer comes in and they say, hey, here's the deal, we're like, okay, that makes sense. That actually kind of aligns with what we see.
Right.
We can sometimes be a little bit more, ask for a couple more things. We're like, hey, can you have a general contractor attached to this deal? What is their experience with particularly central Denver, 100-year-old homes with basements?
Oh, yeah. It's a little tricky.
Right.
So, your kind of Lakewood ranches are a little easier to finance.
Yeah.
So sometimes we ask for a couple more contingencies, but then usually we're kind of bringing those folks into the fold as well. They get that deal done, and then the next deal just becomes smoother and smoother. And then hopefully we've got somebody that we can continue to work with going forward.
Right. And because you gave them a chance too, like I'm sure that helps them feel great about the opportunity to continue to work with you guys because you gave them a chance when they were brand new. What do you do, or have you encountered like an investor? Unfortunately, I've seen this happen a couple times where an investor has horrible taste, and like you guys lend on the project, and for the renovation they're doing like blue tile and not like luxury where you can do blues and greens and it can look beautiful. Your normal suburban house that's grays and whites and beige, and they're coming in and doing just horrible color choices or material choices. Like, what do you do in that case?
I don't know if it's come up.
That's good.
Most people are in that gray and white.
Mm-hmm.
When I see deviations from that, it's usually from the people who really know what they're doing. So I was just looking at one
accent of some sort,
and there was just I was talking to him. He's like, I hate gray, but because I was looking at the property and everything was kind of this kind of like veneer wood paneled kitchen cabinetry and stuff, which it would in your mind would sound a little weird, but it looked beautiful. It's just the way that he did it, and there was like wood accent walls and things.
Okay.
I mean, I think it was a mid-century modern, so you had to get away with some of that stuff. Yeah. But in my experience, the folks that are more the beginner and the lower end, they are very conservative in kind of their design.
And then they get more expressive in their like unique creativity later.
Yeah. The higher the price point, the more expressiveness you tend to see. Yeah. Yeah, I just haven't seen.
Well, good. I was just curious, like if somebody's doing that, like you do a draw, right? Because that's how the renovation funds work. you'll lend 100% of the renovation funds. Let's say that's 80 grand, and you break it up into 4 draws, right?
We allow folks to just break it up however they want.
Oh, okay. So like first round being demo and maybe demo and then putting in like the basics if we need to replace subflooring and all of that. And then come to you, we submit photos and proof of purchase for all of these things. And then you're reimbursing the investor, right? For that first round of renovations.
Yeah. We do a physical inspection rather than photos.
Okay.
But they generally come out there just immediately the next day after the draw request.
Okay.
And then folks can structure it however they want. So they can break it up into quarters. They can break it up into scope items. There are some folks that will just do, 50%, 50%. Occasionally there's somebody who will just do their entire renovation and just take the draw at the end. It's kind of a completion draw. It just kind of depends on their liquidity and how they want to run their operation.
Okay. So I guess that maybe just go and ask the team, because I'm curious. If you guys had someone that was doing that, and let's say after some of the finishes, tile and stuff, and they chose like diarrhea, yellow, brown colors and just like horrible colors, and then they were requesting a draw. Yeah. Would you guys still fund it? Would you be like, oh, maybe we need to pull back some of what we're going to fund because this is likely going to have a problem to sell? I'm just curious what the protocol would be there. Yeah,
I mean, that's interesting. I'll talk to our draws person next time.
Yeah. Where are you from, Gabe? I don't think I've ever asked you that.
I've wandered around a little bit. So I grew up in Washington State. Okay. So I was born in Utah. Okay. But I was only there for about a year and a half, and then moved up to Washington. But on the east side, which is all the farm country, so that's all the wheat fields.
Where at?
Ephrata, which is...
I mean, I've driven through all over Washington, so I just wondered if...
The claim to fame that we kind of have is that I was only maybe 12 miles from the Gorge Amphitheater, which is...
Gorge?
The Gorge.
Amphitheater?
Yeah. So there are 3 epic outdoor music venues in the country. Debatable Jones Beach in Long Island. Okay. Red Rocks and the Gorge. Oh. Okay. The Gorge is just way bigger.
Than Red Rocks?
Than it's more of a festival space. Oh. It actually, it backs to the Columbia River. Whoa. So the sun will go down behind the amphitheater, and you can look off, and it's like a sheer drop of 100 feet to the Columbia River, which is a massive river. Yeah. So it's gorgeous.
That sounds gorgeous.
I saw David Bowie there.
Nice.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So most of my family is Seattle. Okay. So I lived in Seattle for a little bit, then moved to New York, went to college in New York.
New York City?
New York City, yeah.
Whoa.
So I met my wife there. She was going to college there. She's a New Yorker. Okay. And then we moved here. Wow. So did kind of a triangle.
What brought you here?
Just lifestyle. Yeah. So at the point where we were like, well, it's maybe time to settle down and have kids. We live in New York City. Checked out a couple of apartments. The whole thing seemed ridiculous. Right. From like a space and cost thing. Right. So like, where do we move? So Seattle was on the list. There was a couple of other things that were there, but this is, she already had family here, wanted to come for the outdoors. Nice. And it worked out. I'm, been here for 15 years now. Okay. Nice. I always love to ask people what brought them to Colorado, because there's a lot of transplants and lots of different reasons. Yeah, it's lifestyle. Leaving to go skiing tonight. So. Oh, nice. Where are you going? Copper. Copper. Okay. Copper and Cooper used to be both 2 of my favorite places to go snowboarding. Yeah. I don't snowboard anymore, though. Never been to Cooper. Did you get injured? Yeah. Last time I went to Aspen, actually the only time I went to Aspen, I fell like on my bum, and it really hurt, and I was just like in so much pain for about a week. I couldn't even make it down the slope. Like it was just, yeah. I was also very much in my head and just intimidated by how huge, when you're taking the gondola up at Aspen, like the way down is so long. It's such a massive
slope that I was very intimidated by it. And yeah, ended up falling. I was just like, I think I'm good. So let's call it. Yeah. And then I went to Vail last year, and that was like another attempt after Aspen was probably 5 years ago. Went to Vail last year, and same thing. Ended up just falling right away. And I was just like, nope, I'm not doing this. So yeah, I'm just like, all right, it's not for me. It's fine.
Yeah. It's harder to fall on skis and hurt yourself.
True.
The falls on snowboards seem worse.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you going up with the family?
Yes. Yeah, going up with the family. We got a friend of ours, family friends have a house in Silverthorne.
Nice.
So just going to go stay with them.
Awesome.
Probably watch some Olympics.
Oh.
It's like perfect timing.
Yeah. Heck yeah. I love that. Well, anything that you would like to share with our audience today? Anything about you or that we didn't go over that you'd like folks to know?
Well, I did want to talk about what the kind of the new stuff that we were working on.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about that.
Yeah.
I would love, for folks out there that are kind of actively investing, I did mention this. I love kind of dropping in and visiting people's work. So that's an open invitation. I like dropping by and seeing it. I'm a little bit of a house nerd. I may not know all like the intricacies, but I know like well done properties.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly the mid-century moderns, which are all the raves right now.
Mm-hmm.
So a really cool split level one in Virginia Vale like a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
Which was really cool. Some of the touches that were put in there.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm the same. I used to study architecture and interior design. So I love that too. And most of my investors, I'm always like, hey, let me come by your property, just check it out, walk it, and just make some videos. And I love seeing the transformation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a few times folks that are having brokers opens. I'm like, let me bring by the snacks, and we'll just bring a spread of snacks and stuff for everybody.
Yeah.
So
that's nice. So open invitation for anybody watching to invite Gabe out to your properties. So you can come and check it out and see what you did to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, we will include your contact information in the show notes. And I thank you so much for being here with me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Of course. That's it for today's episode, guys. Until next time.